All right. My name is Jeremy Thompson. I am the Operations Director of the Libertarian Party of Massachusetts. I am also the chair of the Libertarian Party of Greater Boston. I'm not only extremely delighted within those titles to welcome you all to Boston, but as a Bostonian, I'm here to say I'm glad you are all here to witness our greatness in our own city. I'm glad you're all here to be in Boston, and I'm happy, I'm so delighted to be hosting the LNC today. Before I get to the meat of what I want to say, I'm going to share some important Bostonian history. Look, that's important. It was here where the Boston Revolution began. It was here where thousands of Bostonians almost destroyed the city after the death of Martin Luther King. It was here where Malcolm X ran his first church. Here where we are now fighting the state to be compassionate to the homeless. Here where freedom has a major opportunity to flourish as many counties share across the United States. It is my pleasure not only to welcome you again to a city dedicated to persistent activism and change for a better future for generations to come. However, some time ago, my mom saw some tweets from official affiliates that let off a dog whistle in her ear that she let ring to my family, and that they let ring to the community. It is important that we get a hold on how that whistle rings in everyone's ear. My mother lived through busing, and she was there to hug me once I got back from DC after getting arrested for voting rights around the country. But it wasn't until she saw such statements that she told me to be careful with my involvement in the LP. She didn't tell me to be careful when I risked arrest, but it was clear here that when there were statements, specific racial statements, released by LPNH, that set off an image of the same burning flash cans thrown at her bus during busing, and I couldn't ignore that, so as many of you have already seen, I released my press release. I also find it very interesting that statements get reduced to just mean tweets when we are literally having members call the N-word. When we are literally having members like myself on Twitter calling monkey suit wearers as black libertarians. I find it really funny that you aren't willing, Karen Ann, to condemn those things, and you are willing to explicitly endorse them. I find that so funny, because we are a party that has 93% white men. We are not a party of diversity. We are not a party of inclusion like we are supposed to be. We are not a party that expresses the same liberty for the ones who need it most. And when we need allyship, no one is by our side. When we are called monkey suit wearers, their statements are endorsed because it's seen as punishment against them for those statements, as just them punished for mean tweets, not the harassment it is. That is very interesting and very telling of where this party is headed. I find it very funny that it's very interesting, right? Because our image is supposed to be associated with those same burning trash cans thrown at school buses. It's almost as if our image is supposed to be associated with white hoods. It's almost as if that's okay. How could that ever be okay? It's a genuine question, and I hope it sits with you. Before I end, I want to end on a quick spoken word piece, and I hope this sits with you. Towering hundreds of feet above me, an open flame in her hand, to Lady Liberty I ask, what does liberty mean to you? Because when I look to my left, I notice it looks like obedience to the tyranny of the majority, fake advocacy for the suffering of minorities, and oppression ever growing along with the state's boundaries. And when I look to my right, I see liberty means consistent corporate bailouts, complacency in the suffering of minorities, law and order when the laws are out of it, and the list goes on. But when I look forward, I see a flame hungrily burning at the end of an ever-growing tunnel, the few and the proud marching towards its heat after called crazy, leaving the tundra of statism, warming their frostbitten toes and fingers to bring the flame of liberty to the majority. But they're the crazy ones, though. Watching the world repeat its history consistently, and each and every time what we always said was needed was more liberty. But I guess this is why they say force out of such a situation, you see, because we speak of a future so many things, such as for an entity. I get it. So as she towers hundreds of feet above me, an open flame in her hand, to Lady Liberty I ask, what does liberty mean to you? And so as that message sits with you, I want you to think long and hard about how our official affiliates define what liberty looks like. Because what it looks like to me is our elected candidates such as Jordan Evans, Wade Hasty, and Ashley Shade, trailblazing pathways to freedom within their communities, working inside those same communities. Again, images of flaming trash cans, white hoods, and burning crosses should never be associated with the LP. That is not us, nor could it ever be us, so act like it. And as I leave the stage, I want to reiterate, what does liberty look like to you? Again, to the LNC, I urge you to condemn the actions of affiliates who associate liberty through action. I urge you not to just make statements. I urge you not to just make those simple platitudes. It's not enough. We need action. Inaction only serves the oppressors, never the oppressed. Period. Thank you. Enjoy your time in Boston. Love you, everyone.